GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered. And that's MVS and Justin Watson with some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues. If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up. Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow, comma, semicolon, period, next sentence, to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, D-Bro. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man JRich.
Is that yes! Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up. We're Ray
and Jay
in the morning.
My God.
How good is he? How good is Get it, GMGP. Good morning, good people. It is Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. Y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with myself, Ray G, and my brother from another mother, JRich. You can find him at your boy JRich on X, Blue Sky, Instagram, wherever you get your social media content from. Appreciate y'all being in the building today. We got a big show. We're talking rookies. Dane Brugler dropped his mock. GQ's been dropping them for a while, and JRich, hey, some of them players and some of the draft spots and some of the landing spots in the Capitol, I know what I'm talking about, Jay. Your boy's on point, so we're going to go through that. And we are going to do a one-round rookie mock draft right here on the channel with you all. So if you're new here, that thumbs up button, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, engage with the good people in the comments, and I see my family in the damn building. Good morning. Cold World TDE, L Wood, good morning to you. HK Survivor, 1993. What's up, baby? War Daddy in the building. Let's go. Ryan, what's happening with you? Anthony, D-Rock, what's going on, baby? Matt, how you doing? Appreciate everybody being in the building. And for sure, my boy Jimbo in the building. Talking about Shador, the neighbors, connection, gonna feed families for decades. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna pull up Dane's mock. We're gonna go through it, do a rookie mock. And we got some NFL news that we got to get into. JRich, how you doing, big dog?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad that you brought up how good you are at this whole mock draft thing, but I'm pretty sure it's actually me who's been the king of the mock draft, especially in the early parts of the mocks, at least when it comes to the draft challenge. And don't worry, good people, we will do another draft challenge this year, and you can take on Ray G and myself. Yeah. And it's funny because they watch the show every day, Ray. They know all the stuff we know, and most of the time, they still can't hang with us. I don't know what it is. I don't know what we got to do.
They not like us.
Give them all the information.
They not like us.
You might just say that, my friend.
Kendrick and SZA on tour. You going? Kendrick and SZA going on tour. You going to see King Kendrick? You going?
You know what's hilarious, right? Is like, I'm assuming you've seen on Twitter that the show before Father's Day is in Toronto.
It's in Toronto.
Because Father's Day is June 15th, and he's coming to Toronto June 12th. It's very petty, but it's going to be hella expensive to go to that show. I can promise you that. Even in Toronto, it's going to be hella expensive to go.
It's very petty.
And I don't know if I'm going to pay that, $600 that it'll probably be to go see SZA and Kendrick. Kendrick's a great artist, but I don't know if I really want to go see him in concert.
Oh, I'm going. We're in there. They're coming to Dallas.
I know you want to go.
I know you want to go. April. So here's the thing. It's April 26th, so it's the Saturday of the final day of the draft, and we stream the draft Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I'm going to stream all draft weekend, and then we're going to go to the concert. So we're going to get them tickets on Friday when they drop. But appreciate everybody being in the building. If you're not going to the Kendrick concert, then fast forward through this part. But we're about to get into the show. Content on the channel. Make sure you check out Dynasty Theory. They dropped some content on yesterday. Top fantasy trade targets. You see Big Mike, JRich's nemesis on the thumbnail. Check out Mitch, John, Dan, and the boys as they're going through trade targets for your Dynasty Fantasy Football Leagues. We did talk about my mock draft. I dropped that on Monday. Mock Mondays came out. Had some good landing spots there for some players. We'll talk about which guys I had in certain spots versus Brugler today. So check out that. As well as, you got to trust it. Wide receiver usage. Jerry Jeudy went gangbusters on Monday Night Football. My goodness, Jerry Jeudy, 299,000 yards with Jameis Winston. He is pretty damn good. Top 5 in receiving yards on the season. We're going to go through the usage. And more so look at some players that we might want to buy into for next season, knowing that the fantasy season right here is coming to an end. So make sure you pull up for that on the channel. We're dropping shit, every freaking day for the most part over here on the channel. So yeah, pull up. Jay, we got to get into the news, man. Got to get into the news because I want to do the mock, want to go through it.
I know you do.
Want to mock with the people. Let's talk some rookies. So give it to us straight, baby. Let's go.
The biggest news in the world of sports. Covered and brought to you by one man, Jordan Richards. This is Straight Facts.
All right, Ray, so there is a lot to get to, and I know you're going to try and smooth past all the Cowboys talk. But we'll start with Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason, who are both on IR now for the San Francisco 49ers. So you're looking at the likes of Isaac Guerrero and Ray. I don't know if you saw this. Your boy, a prospect that you raved about all draft cycles, Israel Abanikanda.
Drafts? Man, what a boost. But keep going.
You did talk about Abanikanda a lot. He has been picked up off of waivers by the San Francisco 49ers, so maybe he'll get a shot in the NFL along with Keyshawn Vaughn. So that is what your running back room is looking like now for the San Francisco 49ers and for Brock Purdy. Bucky Irving said he is feeling fine after dealing with his hip injury. Head coach of the Colts, Shane Steichen, said he's unsure if Josh Downs is going to be available after the Week 14 bye for the Colts. Again, the Colts aren't really in it, but Josh Downs has been a big part of the success of both Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco when they've been starting. So hopefully he's back, but it's not looking so good for Josh Downs as it stands right now. The Bears said they're going to retain GM Ryan Poles into next season, which was kind of surprising given what's been going on. They also promoted their wide receiver coach, Chris Beatty, hopefully I said that right, to OC after promoting Thomas Brown from OC to head coach. Crazy that Caleb Williams in his rookie season has already had 3 offensive coordinators, which is just disgusting. But they also said, Ray, that they're hoping to interview Ben Johnson and Cliff Kingsbury for the head coaching job. I mean, there's a lot of things I want too, but we'll see what happens with the head coaching search for the Chicago Bears and whether or not Ben Johnson or Cliff Kingsbury even want that job. Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shahir was suspended for 3 games after his hit on Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence is now in concussion protocol, and the Jags signed John Wolford, Ray. I know you remember old John Wolford in L.A., so that was kind of a surprising name that popped up. Dave Canales also said that Jatavian Sanders is hoping to be back this week. Now, again, does that mean he's going to play a lot? Probably not. But he's hoping he will be available for this week for the Carolina Panthers, along, Ray, with the Coke man himself, Jalen Coker, hoping to be back from his injury.
Coke
so all the Coke
boys,
heads
baby.
out there. Yeah, Coke boy, baby. You know the vibes.
Get that.
But, yeah, so he's supposed to be back. And then it's December, so Dallas Goedert going on IR. Surprise, surprise. He's dealing with a knee injury, not supposed to be serious. Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't hear anything about a Goddard injury. But, yeah, so Goddard's supposed to be out, potentially even going on IR for a short term for the month. So we'll see, but probably out for the fantasy season, fantasy playoffs for us. The Riz God, Ray, commented on the status of one Kendre Miller. Head coach of the Saints, Darren Rizzi, said that Kendre Miller is hoping to be back and was designated to return off of IR along with wide receiver Bub Means. So we could see Bub Means back for the Saints along with Kendre Miller finally getting some run. He was asked about whether or not he's in his
doghouse. It's been 2 years now. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Well, it's interesting because he was asked about, the whole situation with Dennis Allen, and Dennis Allen speaking very poorly of Kendre, and he said, I don't have a doghouse. I don't even have a dog. So he's excited to see what Kendre can do. He's a very dynamic player. And so we probably see Kendre on the field kind of to close out the season. Maybe not so great if you have Alvin Kamara, but I expect him to play and get some touches for the Saints going forward. There's also a chance that Romeo Doubs and Jair Alexander are active for Thursday Night Football. The Packers head to Detroit, so massive game, not just for the Lions, but also for the Packers as well as they try to solidify their spot as the 5th seed in the NFC. And last but not least, Rashad Bateman is not expected to have a serious knee injury. John Harbaugh said it's not too serious, but there is some concerns. They're also on bye, but he's hoping that he will be back for Week 15. And then what was a thrilling revenge game for Jerry Jeudy? We talked about it. 9 receptions, 235 yards. Was it 5 touchdowns? Or not 5? Was it 2 touchdowns for Jeudy or just 1? And then, of course, a massive missed opportunity by Jameis Winston. Historic quotes. Great game. Bo Nix was both great and awful at the same time. And last but not least, I didn't even bother putting it on the show sheet. But, Ray, your quarterback, Dak Prescott, said that he wants head coach Mike McCarthy back for the 2025 season. And I put this in our group chat. Jerry Jones was overseas, apparently, according to Part of My Take, trying to purchase the Tottenham Hotspur. So no longer will Jerry just be chasing the Super Bowl. He will be chasing a Premier League title and maybe, just maybe, a Champions League championship. Jerry Jones diversifying the portfolio.
Man, you are.
It's gonna be
you
great.
are. What?
It's gonna be
I
great.
just had to let you go. I'm listening to you
great.
tell this story. I'm like, okay,
I'm
this
loving
is
it.
news. I did not.
Jerry's going to have a new son, and his name is Hyung Min.
I heard about the Dak stuff. I've got no comment. I've got no comment. I am at my wit's end with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know why I do it to myself. I really don't. I've got no comment with that, with Dak Prescott, with McCarthy. None. Zero comment. And Jerry Jones trying to go buy some soccer team. Good for him.
Soccer team.
Premier League. Sorry. Excuse me. Football team. It's not some team, right? I don't. That's not culturally
good,
over here, man. All right?
Yeah.
It's not, you don't even know how to play
They're
spades.
second
You're
tier in North
ripping
London.
me for not knowing how damn good Tottenham is. I don't know who that is.
They're pretty good.
I don't watch them.
Well, if you should watch them, bro. They're great.
Okay. Let's talk about the Monday night game.
Son.
Jameis Winston, Bo Nix. We talked about it a little bit. Bo Nix was both good and bad in the game, but he got it done. And the Broncos are 8-5. Jordan, 8-5 on the season. Are the Sean Payton, Bo Nix led Denver Broncos in that game? You know, Jameis Winston, he's the one that had 500 damn passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Yeah. And it was just, what was funny was the narratives around Jameis from quarter 1 to quarter 4. It was like, he's a good backup to, oh my God, Cleveland's got their bridge quarterback and long-term maybe guy of the future to hell no. This is why Jameis Winston is a backup quarterback. I mean, he lit it up, and I think he is a good bridge-type quarterback. I don't know if they need to go forward with him as their quarterback of the future. Jay, I didn't feel like that watching it. They still need to figure out what the hell they're going to do at that spot. Bo Nix was fine. Made some really good throws. I mean, the strike to Marvin Mims,
Don't see many better throws than that.
It
really
was a
don't.
laser. And it was after, I believe it came after a negative play. I don't know if he got sacked or he took it was some penalty, pre-snap penalty. But they were backed up, man, and he ripped one right up the seam. So he was both good and bad in that one. Cortland Sutton continues to do his damn thing. Nothing for the show favorite Devon Vele. Absolutely nothing. If you started him, you got jack shit. Elijah Moore went nuts again. David Njoku, 2 touchdowns for him, and only 1 touchdown for Jerry Jeudy. It was a very entertaining Monday night game. Very entertaining Monday night football game.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when David Njoku has 17 targets in a game. Like, it's just ridiculous. Jameis threw the ball 58 times, 500 yards, 2 pick sixes, another back-breaking interception at the end of the game.
Fumbled.
But, I mean, why do you care when he's throwing the ball 13 times to Jerry Jeudy, 14 times to Elijah Moore, and 17 times to David Njoku? We hope that a quarterback can support 2 pass catchers, and Jameis is out here supporting 3 with elite levels of production.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Good stuff. Good game. Good game. All right, Jay.
Great game.
Let's get into the mock. Let's get into Brugler's mock. Let's get into it. 2025 mock draft season is upon us. The fantasy season is damn near over. NFL season coming to a close. And y'all know what this is. I mean, this channel was formed. Everything we started out was college football, NFL draft prospects. So we are all the way dialed in, locked in, and excited for this upcoming 25 class. Not just for our fantasy teams, but just NFL-wise. Like, we're fans of the game. We're looking at these situations, trying to figure out what players teams need in order to improve in 2025. So, Dane Brugler, one of the most notable draft analysts in the space, this is his first one, right, Jay? This is his first mock of the
first one of the year,
season. Okay,
of the cycle.
I have not looked at it. I have not seen it. I know where 2 players are because you kind of made mention to it in our pre-show stuff, but I have not seen anything. You kind of let me know the order of where people are. So, JRich, you are going to guide us through this sort of through this pick exercise, and you can you don't have to spend a ton of time on the defensive players or the offensive linemen or defensive tackles if you don't know them. But let's start this thing off. So, number 1, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Jacksonville picking number 1.
Yeah, Jacksonville, he didn't have any trades in this mock, at least reading through it, didn't see any trades. But yeah, Jacksonville, number one. They take your boy. You said it on Monday. You said there's no way in hell they can pass on Travis Hunter as it stands right now. Now, of course, if they did, it would be because of trade. But Travis Hunter is going number one right now. He said at this point, Hunter's the only 25 prospect who's considered by scouts to be a surefire top 5 pick. There's a lot of differing opinions about Hunter's ability to be a two-way player in the NFL, but everyone agrees if anyone can do it, it's him. With his athletic traits, ball instincts, and focused mindset, he has NFL playmaker written all over him, regardless of how he's used. And I think that's a great way to describe Hunter, Ray. Like, while we're not sure whether he's a better receiver or corner, he is a playmaker on either side of the ball. And it really just comes down to, for us for fantasy, is like, how do you draft him? Where would he be utilized? And, kind of judging all of that, because at number one, like, he should be playing a lot. And I think in Jacksonville, he probably does play both ways. But how do you feel about Hunter in Jacksonville? And how do you think he fits with Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas, and once Christian Kirk comes back?
Fits great.
He's still on the roster. Christian Kirk.
Fits wonderfully. I think that it'd be a great fit. Defensively, they got Tyson Campbell, who was paid as one of the highest paid corners in the NFL. So you pair him with Tyson Campbell, you got 2 really good cornerbacks on a defense that needs defensive help. And if you play him offensively, you don't need him to be your Superman, because you've got Brian Thomas. You have Gabe Davis in the building. Evan Ingram is there as the tight end. You do have Christian Kirk, so you can use him to his skill set. Just let him make a play or two out there. And more importantly, Jay, it's a business. We're playing a game. We're watching a game. We're enjoying a game. But the NFL, they're playing business. And he is going to put butts in seats. He's going number one. He's the number one overall pick. Who's picking at 2?
So we have the Raiders.
Oh, let me do the draft chime. Let me do the chime. Let's do the chime. Here we go. Let's get ready. Let's get ready for the draft, Jay. Do you hear the chime?
Fun,
there it is.
Let's
get ready for it. All right, who's picking 2?
At number 2, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, and we know, Ray, they need a quarterback. But it is not the quarterback that you probably expect. Per Dane's commentary, it may be tough for owner Mark Davis to pass on Sanders' name, but Cam Ward out of Miami speaks the Raiders' language with his ability to create explosive plays. And I think even today, Ray, this is a pretty polarizing take, but for people who aren't familiar with Dane's work, Dane does not have Shedeur as QB1. I believe that Cam Ward is his QB1 as it stands right now. And I think he had Shedeur all the way down at 4 or 5 at one point. I think he's kind of changed that stance since then. But Las Vegas takes quarterback Cam Ward at number 2, Ray. Cam Ward not even going to be in the college football playoff because Alabama is going to be in. But how do you feel about Las Vegas taking quarterback Cam Ward at number 2 overall?
Yeah, they need a quarterback. They need a QB. It's going to be Ward or Sanders. They need a QB. Whichever team feels that player better fits their system, that's what it's going to be. So let's get to number 3. Who's picking number 3? The Giants?
Number 3 is the Giants, and they're taking the big man with the biggest name and, honestly, the biggest family right now in college football, and that is Shedeur Sanders. I don't know whether I like Shedeur more in Vegas or New York, but honestly, if for some reason Brian Daboll was to stay, I would absolutely love Shedeur with the New York Giants. Him and Malik Neighbors is a fantastic way to start this rebuild for the Giants, and I think it would be a massive upgrade, not just for Malik, but for the team, from potentially their leadership and just the way they could rally around Sanders. And then on top of the fact, they're going to make a ton of money by bringing Sanders into New York.
Yep. I think it's a good fit. Bring Shedeur to New York and start the rebuild there. You've got Malik Neighbors. You've got a running back in Tyrone Tracy. Andrew Thomas back, and he's already used to running around for his life behind a bad offensive line. There you go. New York, you got your quarterback of the future. I like it, Jay. Who's up?
So next is the Patriots. They take Will Campbell, and you really made me sour on Will Campbell when we talked about him just a few days ago.
That's what the streets were telling me. His arms are short, and he's not athletic. So we'll see, man.
So Brugler did say, despite having average arm length, Campbell moves with fluidity and strength throughout his frame and projects as an immediate NFL starter at tackle, guard, or center.
Guard.
That's so it's not necessarily that he's going to be a tackle, but he can immediate starter and can play anywhere on the offensive line, which honestly for the Patriots is good. Could give them some flexibility with what they do in free agency and other moves. So Abdul Carter, the edge out of Penn State, goes to Carolina. The Jets take Jalen Walker out of Georgia. That's a
really? They take Jalen Walker that high? Okay. All right.
Jalen Walker, the linebacker edge out of Georgia.
I've had him between 18 and 22. I had him going to Atlanta at like 19. But all right. Jalen Walker at 7. All right.
We have another Bulldog off at 7 to the Tennessee
Michael?
Titans in Michael Williams. Yep.
Michael Williams.
So another edge rusher out of Georgia. Another great pick for them. Mason Graham, the DT out of Michigan, goes to Cleveland. The Cincinnati Bengals, Ray.
Who do they take?
Go back to Michigan, and they take Will Johnson, who they desperately need. Yeah, big pickup for Cincinnati. And you can hit the sounder now because...
Hold on.
What's up?
Hold on. I had them taking Will Johnson in the last mock. I had Cincinnati drafting Will Johnson in the last mock. So I had that one in the mock I dropped on Monday.
Yeah, so Brugler did say that Johnson won't be a top 15 lock as it stands right now, but with the concerns at cornerback and it being a light cornerback class, you could see the Bengals making this type of move that they desperately need. But give me the sounder, Ray, because at 10, we have a big name off the board.
Uh-oh.
That is not what I was asking for. The draft sounder.
Oh, the draft sound. My bad. There we go.
At number 10, the New Orleans Saints select Teteora McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona, to pair with Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. All they have to do is cut Derek Carr and find themselves a quarterback, and hot damn, you have yourself a very good offense out in New Orleans. Ray, how do you feel about Ted McMillan heading to New Orleans? And let's say Derek Carr's not his quarterback. Let's say they get a average quarterback to play.
Who do they get? You got to give me somebody. Throw a name out there. Is Darnold coming? Is it
Darnold? Danny Dimes? It's just there's not a name that really excites me right now, but hopefully they can find better QB play than they have from Carr. Because I don't know if you saw, but Marquez Valdez-Scantling was interviewed after the game, and he's like, man, we had 2 calls in the huddle. Garrett Carr called the man play. That play wasn't going to work. And I knew it. And he says this to the media. He's been there for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, he said, I knew that wasn't work.
There is something in the New Orleans water. I'm telling you, man, these guys don't give a shit. They just say whatever. But Tet in New Orleans is a great fit. I think he complements Olave very well. He can play on the boundary, allows Rashid Shaheed to kind of float kind of in like a Z or a hybrid role. I think it'd be a great fit for all 3 players because, I love Olave. I think Olave is a very versatile receiver. Tech can kind of be that X receiver for the team. I think it's a great fit. But they need a head coach. They need a quarterback. And that's kind of the 2 big things that are still pending for the Saints. But getting McMillan is a big get for them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would feel about that, Jay. We're doing a rookie mock later. We'll leave Tet in New Orleans, and then we'll talk about how we feel about him versus some other landing spots and some other rookies. What else we got, man?
So the Bears take Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas. The Miami Dolphins take Malachi Starks, which is definitely not happening. Can you please explain to me how Malachi Starks, even if he's a great safety, is going to be drafted 12th overall? Because safeties do not get drafted this high in the NFL.
He is good. He's very good.
Do you think is he Kyle Hamilton good? Because Kyle Hamilton was going to be a top 10 pick and he wasn't, right?
Yeah, he's in that mold. Yeah, he's in that mold. He's not as physically imposing as Kyle Hamilton, but he's been a day 1 starter as a true freshman. But I had Miami going offensive lineman. So I kind of agree with you as well that it felt high for safety.
Yeah, and I think it's mostly because Javon Holland is in a contract year. They're probably not going to re-sign him. And that's the main reason why they'll go Starks. But your boys are on the board, and I need the sounder because they're taking a player that you are going to be very excited about. And be very excited, Ray. They take Luther Burden III.
The Dallas Cowboys?
They are taking Luther Burden III. So we will be chanting M-I-Z in the stands in Dallas.
I'm good. I think he fits.
Stop cope. No, Ray, just be honest, man. This is such a cope here. You don't even like Luther Burden. You don't even like him. He's a slot merchant.
I got him 3.
What, in this draft class?
Yeah.
This super talented wide receiver draft class?
My only gripe against Burden was he wasn't the 1. Go back to the summer. I say he's not wide receiver 1 in this class. You can't put him over Ted McMillan. I don't think he's a better receiver than Travis Hunter. He fits a role, and that role is the clear Z opposite wide receiver to CeeDee Lamb's 1. He's athletic. He's explosive. He would help Dallas out. They don't really have an underneath option, right? You've got Jake Ferguson, but there's nobody else. Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert. They need somebody that can do some of the athletic shit after the catch. Let him play that Debo type role. I think that's what he would do for Dallas. So I'd be fine with it, man. He's just not the top dog, not the top wide receiver. And for fantasy, we'll talk about where he should go based on some of the other spots, but I'd be fine with it, man. What else we got?
Yeah. So the San Francisco 49ers at 14 take defensive tackle Derek Harmon out of Oregon. The Indianapolis Colts take Siobhan Revel Jr., cornerback out of East Carolina.
ECU.
Ray, talk to me about this East Carolina cornerback, because I have never seen him in my life.
Yeah, he's got good size, good ball skills. Cornerback, man. You gotta go get somebody to stop the opposing team's offense.
Tampa Bay at 16 goes Shamar Stewart, the defensive lineman out of A&M. The Los Angeles Rams take Ariante Irsay?
You got
say
it.
That correctly, Ray?
Ariante Irsay. You got it.
Ariante Irsay, offensive tackle out of Minnesota. Thank you for the easier name, Arizona. Walter Nolan, the DT out of Ole Miss, goes to Arizona at 18. The Atlanta Falcons, Ray, get a position they desperately need at 19. We've talked about him a lot this offseason because you told me he could go off the board as the number 1 edge in the class. James Pierce Jr., the edge out of Tennessee to Atlanta. They need him very badly. Seattle takes offensive tackle Josh Connerly Jr. out of Oregon. And I need the sounder, Ray, because the Washington Commanders are on the clock at 21. And we know there's a lot of directions they could go. But they take none other than RB1 Ashton Jeanty at 21 to play with Jaden Daniels. Find me a more deadly read option in the NFL than Ashton Jeanty and Jaden Daniels. Talk to the people about how you feel about Jeanty in Washington, maybe without offense coordinator Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, I got sweatpants on right now, and I'm standing up. I'm standing up with sweatpants on.
Hopefully you're not.
It's a dangerous situation right now because this would be a great situation for fantasy. I mean, the zone read game, the RPO action, the play action game that would open things up for the tight ends, for the wide receivers. I have not thought about this landing spot. I've just zipped past running back every time I've mocked somebody to Washington. Whether it's a need or not, it would be fun as hell, Jay. Whether it's a need or not, this would be crazy to have Jeanty here in this offense with Jaden Daniels. Man. Wow.
It would be crazy, but I think there's definitely some questions to be asked with the success of Brian Robinson.
Could
he potentially be re-signed? But do you think he's day 1 starter?
I think I've been on record of saying this. Every team should have 2 running backs. I just don't think that there are enough Saquons, enough Derrick Henrys, and the game has just changed, right? The game has changed to where you're fine having 2 running backs in an offense that can take carries from one another, receptions to keep each other fresh. Like the team's goal is to win and to move forward, and that's a player that in conjunction with Brian Robinson, we saw B-Rob and Austin Eckler be successful together. You don't think Jeanty's an upgrade over this version of Austin Eckler that we have right now? Absolutely. I would have no fears, no concerns about Brian Robinson's role or Ashton Jeanty's role. Sure, in this
it's not ideal,
hypothetical dream world in which we believe he should get 35 carries a game, that's not going to happen, but I don't give a shit. Let them be Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Let them be a better version of Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris, what Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard were. We've seen this work. I'm fine with it. And Jeanty's better than Brian Robinson. So it would be only a matter of time. The jury is still out for me if Jonathan Brooks is truly a better running back than Chuba Hubbard.
Okay.
I don't know that. I believe Jeanty is better than Brian Robinson. So I like the fit.
Yeah, so we have Ashton Jeanty at 21 to the Washington Commanders. At 22, we have the Houston Texans. They take the guard out of Alabama, Tyler Booker. And I need this sounder for 23 because the Denver Broncos are on the clock, and they have a couple of needs, but they take Ray G's tight end 1 in the class, Tyler Warren out of Penn State.
Let's go.
Right? Big body tight end, versatile, great with Sean Payton. Yeah, it seems like a great fit. Tyler Warren would be great for Bo Nix and for this offense. We know that Sean Payton has had a lot of success with tight ends in the past, and I think that this would be another one where you're just like, holy hell, what is the ceiling for Warren, and how great could he be, not just in the NFL, but for fantasy as well in this offense?
JRich, he's huge. He's 6'6", 260, can run, can catch, can throw. He could snap the ball. You know, Friday Night Lights, Booby Miles, and he can pass. He could do it all. This dude is anybody claiming any other tight end than Tyler Warren, they have not watched football. They haven't watched college football this year. He's not just the best tight end in football. He's one of the best playmakers in football. We talk about Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty being some of the top play. Tyler Warren is a top 5 playmaker in college football on the offensive side of the ball. Going round 1 is a lock. First tight end off of the board. Barring any injury, he should be a lock to be the first tight end off the board. He's an instant impact player. I'm not going to put him in the same category or the same tier as Brock Bowers, but he would be ahead of everybody else. He's that freaking good, man. So to see Knicks get this type of help at this position, wheels up. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And knowing that it's a spot that Knicks could use very effectively, and Sean Payton's also had a lot of success with the tight end position, and it just hasn't worked out with all the tight ends they've tried to kind of rotate in that spot. At 24, the Baltimore Ravens take Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle out of Michigan. But at 25, Ray, I think we will have a conversation because your Los Angeles Chargers are on the clock. And we know they love to run the football.
I gave them a running back on Monday. People thought I'm like, man, this just feels too good of a spot for LA to pass on this running back. I had him taking Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina. Is that what we got?
Jeanty deserves every bit of praise he gets, but he isn't the only running back in this class who will be considered in the first round. Caleb Johnson, the running back out of Iowa, is a well-put-together athlete who runs with equal amounts of power, patience, and quickness. Add in that he doesn't fumble and is reliable on passing downs, and you don't have to squint to see why Jim Harbaugh might go this direction. They took Joe Alt last year in the first round, and this year they could be getting their RB1 in Caleb Johnson. But
I was off.
Caleb Johnson in LA versus Ashton Jeanty in Washington. I think we have a conversation.
What is the title of the mock that I just dropped on Monday? 3 running backs landed.
3 running backs in the first round, yeah.
Right? Jeanty went to Dallas. I had Omarion Hampton to LA. I had Caleb Johnson in round 1. He's that talented to me. I know his last name is Johnson. I'm not being lazy here. Got to look at the size, the athleticism, the speed.
You want a David Johnson?
No. This dude is incredible, man. I'm not gonna give the comp. I had him going to Kansas City at 31 or 32, wherever they were picking at.
31, probably.
I had Caleb Johnson round 1 to the Kansas City Chiefs as they need a running back. But this would be, where did Jeanty go? Jeanty landed in Washington. Caleb Johnson round 1 to the Chargers.
We'll mock it.
We're doing the mock after this.
Probably solo
backfield. We'll get to the mock after this. Love the spot. I think LA, especially with J.K. Dobbins' knee injury, Kamani Vidal ain't it. Like he's not going to be better than Caleb Johnson. It's just not. This is why, Jay, I've always been so adamant about in Dynasty Fantasy Football, you don't have to know every single thing about every single player in each of the upcoming 10 classes. That's not a prerequisite to being good or to having an edge. But what I do think is important is understanding what the perceived strengths of the upcoming class or next couple of classes are, whether that's the case or not. Just knowing that, okay, 25, not so strong at quarterback, really strong at running back. It makes all of those fucking dudes that we drafted in 24 like very fringy, very risky, Jay. Yeah. I don't feel good about any of them. Not one of them damn running backs, right? I love Bucky. Tampa Bay could just draft it like that. None of them have the profile that just screams you're going to be okay when this team drafts 6'2", 227-pounder Caleb Johnson next year. It's knowing what's coming and where the strengths are, and the strengths of the 25 class, which, in my opinion, are sort of evidence in Dane's mock. The tight end position, you're getting a first-round tight end that he thinks is an incredible caliber. You're getting 2 running backs in first round. You got your quarterbacks there, high-end receivers. Like, it's going to be a solid first round, just like every year in fantasy football. So I love the fit. We'll do the mock after this. Let's wrap this up so we can hit the break and do the mock.
Yeah, it's a balanced first round, but it definitely lacks a lot of talent in the first round, in my opinion. So at 26, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Maxwell Harrison, the cornerback out of Kentucky. At 27, we have the Packers taking Landon Jackson, the edge out of Arkansas. At 28, we have Minnesota taking Marcus Mebo? I definitely said that wrong. Tackle guard out of Purdue. Philadelphia took Cameron Williams, the OT out of Texas at 29.
Damn, Cam Williams fell that far? Okay.
Yeah. The Buffalo Bills at 30 take Mike Green, the edge out of Marshall. Wow. He also said they could look wide receiver and put Emeka Ibuka in brackets there as a question mark. Maybe Emeka Ibuka, 30th. 31, the Kansas City Chiefs take Alfred Collins, the DT out of Texas. And at 32, the Detroit Lions take Jahad Campbell, the linebacker out of Alabama. That rounds out our first round. 2 quarterbacks, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 running backs, right? That's it. 7 players, only 2 quarterbacks in the first round. I feel like that might change by the time we get to April. That's kind of how these things always tend to go. But how do you feel about this first round? Very balanced, only 7 players so far, so may make our rookie mock a little bit tougher than we were hoping.
Yeah, we'll just kind of talk about it. I think it feels appropriate right now. You know what he didn't have? He didn't have 3-4 quarterbacks. There were 2 QBs in round 1, and they both were top 5, and I do believe that is what it's going to be once it's all said and done. I do still think the wild card in all of it is Jalen Milroe because of his skill set, the athleticism, the rushing ability, and the fact that the College Football Playoff Committee threw Alabama in. So he's going to have another opportunity on a big stage to put up some points and to show scouts that he can translate at the next level. So only seeing 2 quarterbacks, interesting. We only had 2 receivers, like 2 true receivers.
Tet and
It was Burden and Tet.
And then you've got, however you feel about Travis Hunter, right?
Yeah, 2 running backs, 1 tight end. Yeah.
A little thin than previous years. Like, we're used to getting
little thin
3
today,
to 4 receivers,
we'll see how it all plays out down the line. But let's mock, man. So y'all know what the drill is. We're going to hit the break, get some water, use the restroom. Y'all subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, comment. We'll be back. Rookie mock. Us. You, the people. Let's get it. 2025. Appreciate y'all pulling up. This is Wake Up with Ray and Jay. You can find my boy at your boy JRich on X or Blue Sky. Get at me at RayGQ. If you're new to the channel, we have a good time here. We wake up every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with the fam. We ask y'all to do one thing. If you're watching, whether you're live, you're watching after the fact, subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, like the content, helps us grow, and check out all the other content on the channel. We went through Dane Brugler's mock draft here. I dropped one myself on Monday. I do it every single Monday. Mock Draft Monday. I'll be doing this all throughout the draft process every single damn Monday until we get to April. It's time to heat up, baby. Dynasty Theory on the channel. Top fantasy trade targets. Check that out. And you got to trust it. Follow the dots. The usage, the best wide receiver tool in fantasy football, bar none. Real simple. Follow the dots. Trust the Trinity. Usage video going up later today or first thing in the morning. Trinity Thursdays, like T Thursdays. Sounds a little better. It might be there. And Jay, I just got to give a big shout out to my wife, Mrs. GQ. Yesterday, we celebrated 8 years of holy
congratulations
matrimony, man. 8 years. There we go, right there.
Beautiful couple,
Mrs.
right there.
GQ. Love you, baby girl. Love you. 8 years in the game, man. 8 years in the damn game. We still doing it, Jay. All right. You ready to mock?
As ready as I'll ever be, Ray.
Are we going to go super flex, single quarterback? How do we do this? What do you think the best? Let's go super flex. I think it kind of
has to at this point.
Yeah, that will make it a little more interesting.
If it's not super flex, what are we
we got to go super flex. All right, so we got it pulled up. Tier maker, JRich.
Okay.
We're going to go 1-on-1. And we're going to use Dane landing spots, and we're also going to use some of my landing spots and of other players or thoughts about where players could land. But let's use old Brugler as the foundation, all right? As the foundation here. So based on what we know, let's say super flex, tight end premium, 1.5 tight end premium. A lot of people playing that. Here we go. Super flex 1-on-1. Who is it, Jay?
Shedeur Sanders. End of list.
You think it's Shedeur still? Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Ray, I have one question for you.
I don't agree, but
I have one. Okay. Well, are you going to say it's Cam Ward? Don't tell me you think it's Cam Ward.
no, it's Ashton Genty would still be 101 for me.
No,
Yes.
Ray, come on.
Yes.
You
Yes,
want a
yes,
running back
man.
in a split backfield over a starting quarterback in Superflex
Yeah.
who has Malik Neighbors as his wide receiver 1, who you
Yes.
think is a top 10 receiver in the league.
And didn't I come on the show and say I'd take JJ McCarthy, Baker Mayfield over Sanders? Like I would. I'm not taking him right now at one. That doesn't mean I don't want to draft him. That doesn't mean I don't want to acquire him in Dynasty. But if I've got the option to choose a player that I can believe can be top 5 at the position versus a quarterback, if I'm being honest, Jay, at best, if right now, today, with what we know and how the QB landscape is, if I'm planting magic beans, if I'm hoping them this shit up, Shedeur's highest outcome, maybe he can get me to QB 10 one day. Maybe QB 10.
What? QB 10?
Maybe. Yes.
Oh,
if you're not
Ray, I think
Jay,
you're
if you're not
drastically
throwing- if
underrating
you're
his
not
skill
throwing
set.
For 4,000 yards and
Okay.
35 touchdowns a season, you're not going to finish as a top 6 quarterback. You're not.
Okay, but Ray, what does he do every week? He throws the hell out of the ball.
In
That's
the Big 12,
only thing
Jay,
he does.
I'm his
well.
biggest
He
fan,
doesn't-
dude.
But it's okay. But what you're saying is that you don't think he can throw the ball 40 times a game. He can do that. He does that routinely.
Okay,
So
and
that's where when you're saying that you don't believe that he can be a top quarterback, when all you do every week is see him throw the ball over and over and over. And if you're Brian Daboll, are you going to put the ball in the hands of your running back, or are you going to put the ball in the hands of your quarterback that you've seen throw the ball in tight windows, in big games, in difficult situations, behind a bad offensive line? Like, I understand that you may not think he's the best quarterback or deserving of the 101, but to say that you don't think that he can throw for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, and we know that he does have some scrambling ability, right? Like some escapability.
No, he doesn't.
Maybe give you.
No, he doesn't.
There's
no, he doesn't.
some.
No, zero.
There's some. Okay.
I will bet you right now.
I wouldn't give him a 0.
He
I wouldn't
never
give him a 0.
rushes for over 200 yards in the NFL. I'll put that. I'll put any season he'll never eclipse 200 yards rushing. He's not a runner.
Okay.
He's not a runner.
I know he's not a runner, but he may have to some extent, right?
He
may
pray
have
he doesn't.
to.
I hope not.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying
Okay.
he's a runner,
Well, a
but
lot of
I think
people agree with
he
you.
has capability, right? So that's
a
the
lot of
only
people
thing is
agree.
that if you believe Genty's the 101, I'm cool with that.
leave
I don't know
Shedeur
that's the
here. I
direction
like it.
I would go. So then, okay, I would personally would take Shedeur 101 today because I believe
and if you take
in
Shedeur
Neighbors
101
and Daboll.
So then Cam Ward's coming off probably 102, realistically. Brock Bowers, Cam Ward. Is Cam Ward your 102?
I would probably if you think Genty's that good,
No,
I
no,
would
look,
lean on your side.
Let's go with the exercise. So if it's no doubt Sanders, quarterback and superflex, so should Cam Ward be 102?
No, I don't like Cam Ward that much.
Okay,
I'd probably go.
All I'm gonna say
I'd take
is
Genty.
if we're gonna do this process shit early, you can't be
Yeah.
like, well, I like him and I don't like him. You take the quarterback because it's super flex. You don't take it now because I don't like him. People might like Ward over Shedeur, but you put Shedeur 1. So should Cam Ward be here at the 2 spot based on your rationalization that you take the quarterback that's drafted high?
But my rationalization has nothing to do with the process play. It's about the situation, the coach, the wide receiver 1, and the skill set of the player. I don't think if you put Cam Ward in New York, he's going to be as successful as Shedeur Sanders. That's why I'm not taking Cam Ward in Las Vegas, which, yeah, sure, he's got Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers, but it's not a good situation, and we have no idea who the coach is going to be right now. If I'm betting today and they have Daboll, I'm fine with Sanders at 1 because I think everything altogether puts him there. And I think you could easily make the case for Caleb Johnson if you really wanted at 3 over Cam Ward. Because that situation.
Do you want to make that case now? Do you want to make that case? Caleb Johnson over Cam Ward here.
I'm fine with it. I don't I don't like Cam Ward very much. I don't think he's a very good quarterback. And he could be drafted very high, but if he goes to the Raiders especially, I think it's a much worse situation than going to New York. I really do.
I gave you Jeudy over Ward. I'm making the executive decision. I'm putting Cam Ward at 3. I don't see how you can love Shedeur in New York and not like Cam Ward and think about putting Caleb Johnson over him. But no, we're going Cam Ward at 2. Cam Ward at 3. So Shedeur 1, Jeudy 2, Cam Ward 3. You want to go Caleb Johnson to LA here? Or
I don't know if we have a choice. Would you gamble on
Travis Hunter?
QB3?
Travis Hunter?
Oh, I don't think if he goes to the Jags, he projects well as a wide receiver.
Okay, I agree.
And
with
I think you agree. I think he projects as a starting corner and a rotational receiver, which is a problem.
So we've got Caleb Johnson. Tet McMillan went 10th overall to the Saints. Tet McMillan went 10th. Luther Burden went 11th to the Dallas Cowboys. Where are we at? 104.
I think I would go Johnson. I love the situation. I think he instantly slots in as RB1, and I can't say the same, honestly, about Tet versus Burden. And I think I have to ask you, Ray, which situation do you like better? Because part of me, as much as I'm not the biggest Burden fan, I think that, is Burden the better draft pick than Tet?
I'm not taking.
You're not doing that?
I'm taking McMillan over Burden. If this is how we're playing it out, with Sanders at the 1, Jeudy at the 2, Cam Ward 103, Caleb Johnson in his draft selection of the Chargers in round 1 goes 4. And let's just say, for the sake of this, let's do what I did in my mock, because I did have Caleb Johnson in round 1, right? I'm going to put Hampton in, but I'll switch the spots because I had Hampton in LA and Caleb Johnson in Kansas City. Kansas City drafts Hampton at the back of the first. Now what happens? There we go. Where Hampton to Kansas City in round 1. Where does he go?
Chances are he goes ahead of Prince. Where
would he go?
Johnson. Chances are he goes ahead of Caleb Johnson. I think there's more hype around KC and probably around Hampton when it's all said and done.
Would he go there? Would he go ahead of any of these other guys? Somebody would do it.
Probably
somebody
not.
Would do it.
Well, someone would, but I think Jeudy has too high of a profile. People are going to be too excited to draft him. And then it really just depends on how people feel about Sanders and Ward, right? Maybe someone would take him over one of them because it's KC. Pacheco, I believe, is on the last year of his deal going into next season. And we expect him to take on a lot of the pass catching work, which is great as well, because they don't really have that role solidified right now in KC. But
look at this scathing comment. Look at this scathing
what?
comment from Historical Anomalies. This is just brutal. Cam Ward is dollar store Bryce Young. Yay. Man, that is mean on a Wednesday. All right, I put Tet at 105. Tet's 105. I made executive call. Tet 105. We're up at the 106 spot. Burden went 11 to Dallas. Tyler Warren in a 1.5 tight end premium went 19th or 20th to the Denver Broncos. Where do you do?
I really want to take Tyler Warren.
Take him.
But I think the issue is so Ray, realistically, where do you think Warren would slot in? He goes to the Broncos at 19. We typically do not draft Warren and tight ends very high simply because, I brought this up, the other day, right? I don't necessarily believe in the whole positional advantage thing when we had the Neighbors versus Bowers debate. But how do you feel about Warren, and would you consider taking him in this class, knowing that you have a lot of running backs who haven't been drafted yet, a couple quarterbacks that maybe you like?
Yep.
I think Warren probably slots in around 110, 111 to a better team where you have a better roster and you want to build that tight end room. 6 does feel a little bold, and I think that Dallas as well could provide some pass catching opportunities early for the likes of a Luther Burden. And obviously we know CD's there, but Dak specifically, I think, makes a big difference for Burden should he get on the field. The question is he going to get on the field? And I think that's the hard part because I know that Warren's going to be on the field.
All right, so let's just say, because Brugler also said the other day that between rounds 2 and 4, you're going to see 12 running backs come off of the board. So let's just say in round 2 and round 3, Omarion Hampton, Ollie Gordon, Quinshon Judkins, Devin Neal, who I like a lot, Dylan Sampson, who's a top 6 back for me in the class. Let's just start with those 5 running backs. Omarion Hampton, Ollie Gordon, Quinshon Judkins, Devin Neal, Dylan Sampson come off the board. Day 2, round 2, round 3, they're off the board. I don't know what team they're on. We're not going to play that game. Those 5 running backs are off of the board day 2. We still have Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Luther Burden.
We got to find a spot for him.
And where are you
And
at?
Mekabuka too is the other one that we got.
Tyler Warren. Well, I'm just putting the running backs there. I don't even think we'll get to Ibuka. I don't even think we'll get there. I don't think we'll get there.
Well, I just brought it up because Dane brought him up as a late first.
Okay,
right? So
okay,
maybe
we'll
he
put
is
him,
another
we'll
guy,
put him back
right?
in there. Okay, cool. We'll put him back in
Again,
there.
I don't know where we'd put him, but I think he's deserving of being in that type of
All right,
conversation.
we've got 5 down, and we've got more than enough to fill out round 1 on the board. The criteria for this C row is Hampton, Gordon, Judkins, Devin Neal, Dylan Sampson, and Emeka Egbuka all go round 2 or round 3 of the NFL draft. They all go round 2, round 3, and we still have Travis Hunter, Luther Burden, and Tyler Warren who were selected in round 1. Finish it out. We're at the 106 spot.
In my head, it probably goes, Ollie Gordon's been so bad this year.
Luther Burden. People love him.
You think it's Burden?
He's a top 15 pick at receiver. Luther Burden, 106.
That's fine, but so my question to you, could a good landing spot of a Hampton, a Judkins, a Neal, a Sampson, and even a Gordon trump a Luther Burden first-round selection to Dallas? Because I think it could.
Well, then make the pick. I'm giving you free reign.
I want to go Hampton, Judkins, Warren, Burden, and then I think at that point you have to look at Hunter.
Hampton, Judkins, Burden, Warren. That's what you want. That's what we're just assuming so. Hampton and Judkins are drafted on day 2.
High second round type of thing.
Day 2. Not high second round, day 2 sometime.
Okay.
And they landed a good landing spot for you for this example. They're in a good spot.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I don't think Hunter's even a 110 in this class. Not if you can't project a role.
PFF has him as a receiver. What does Dane have him declaring as?
You think Dane didn't just sit on that fence at wide receiver cornerback?
Did he sit on the fence? What's it say? Wide receiver cornerback?
Yeah.
We're going to put him at receiver. We're going to put him at receiver now. And
the question, Ray, if he is a full-time receiver, though, where would you draft him?
If he says, I'm playing offense, you're going to draft him in round 1. He's probably going to be towards the back, but you're not going to pass on him because he could just score 10 damn touchdowns. If he says, I'm playing receiver in the NFL, he's going to be a first-round pick. Probably not top 5, not 101, 102. But you're not.
Does that make sense, though? Because you know that there's a world where even if he catches 5 touchdowns or 7 touchdowns, let's say he has Marvin Harrison Sr. as it stands right now.
Nothing about Travis Hunter makes sense. You're trying to make sense of a nonsensical player. We haven't seen this before. We've never seen this before.
But then why would you risk it in the first round when there is a lot of talented players in this draft?
Who else, Jay? Look at I don't give a shit about Kyle. If I miss on Devin Neal, I'll draft Kyle Monangai or Woody Marks later. It's taking the chance on Hunter being special, knowing that Nick Singleton, Trey Henderson, DJ Giddens, there's a bunch of other backs in the class. I'm not taking Ollie Gordon ahead of Travis Hunter out of fear that Hunter's not going to get 160 targets. I'm not doing it. I can find another Ollie Gordon. I can find another Devin Neal. If Hunter plays the offensive side of the ball at any marginal clip to where we're talking about him for fantasy, I would rather have that player than Ollie freaking Gordon.
Okay, would you take a day 2 quarterback over Travis Hunter? A Carson Beck, a Jackson Dart?
No.
Any of those guys?
No. All right, so we've got, what is this, 10 picks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll finish out round 1. Oh, boy.
Colston Loveland? High second round pick, maybe? Colston Loveland? This is brutal.
Jalen Milroe, 111. Jalen Milroe, 111, and you round out the 112 spot. Who you putting at 112?
I'll take Carson Beck. High second round pick, Carson Beck.
Beck.
I actually don't mind Carson Beck if he's a high second rounder and you get him back at the first. I don't mind.
So let's just play this out, right? Let's just say, okay, 2 idiots in the league drafted these 2 quarterbacks at the back of the first round. They were second round picks. They didn't go round 1. Yeah. Let's just speed round how good the second round might look in your league.
Oh my God.
Once you're done trying to debate these guys, right? So let's just go. I'm going to go with a personal favorite. Dylan Sampson at the 201. We've got Emeka Egbuka.
I want Egbuka and then Isaiah Bond right next. I like Isaiah Bond a lot.
We're not doing that. Not yet. Devin Neal. We'll put We'll put your boy Isaiah Bond in there, even though he hasn't done jack shit this
I don't care, he's
season. We'll
fast.
put him in
He's gonna
there.
be great.
Restrepo from Miami, probably
He's going
going
to
to be a
Senior
second
Bowl.
rounder.
Probably going to be, probably day 2 guy after Senior
Probably a
Bowl.
day 2 guy. Where's Colston at? Loveland.
How's Trey Harris? Is he going to make it?
Loveland. Yep. Trey Harris. Harold Fannin Jr. probably. Tight end craze. He's going to run fast. You could put Ollie Gordon in the back of that second round. You got
Jackson
Drew
Dart's
Allard
got to be
still
there
available.
soon, right?
Jackson Dart is going to be in there. If Dart's in the class, he's going to be in Mobile. Now, Dart might be up here somewhere, right? If you're taking Beck and Milroe, Jackson Dart's in there. We still got 2 more picks. 2 more picks.
Singleton, maybe?
I mean, Woody Marks. You got Nick Singleton.
Yep.
Let's go down again. Let's just look at how many other good players that we like. Kyron Lacey's still available.
You like Kyron Lacey, yeah?
I do like Kyron.
There's no way Quinn Ewers is a 3rd rounder if he declares. There's no way he'd be a 3rd rounder.
I'm just putting up the names of the players who are still left that are good. You've got Drew Allard, who people are talking about.
Is the Nuss bus there?
Giddens from who?
The Nuss bus. I think he's right
no,
there.
Nuss is going back. Nuss is going back.
Evan Stewart?
Evan Stewart's probably going back. You got Oronde Gadsden, another tight end. Jonah Coleman, running back out of Washington. Kyle Monangai, running back out of Rutgers. Jaquindon Jackson, running back out of Arkansas. Big Hendo.
Let's go.
People are saying he's not going to come out. I don't know why.
Doesn't he have to? Isn't he a senior?
No, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. I think he's got like 1 more year of eligibility. But you got Henderson.
Hendo.
Still available. Tez Johnson. Ty Felton.
Yep.
And whoever else you want. There's 3 rounds right there. And I'll tell you right now.
Will Howard, baby. Let's go.
If I'm sitting in the 3rd and you're telling me I'm getting Kyle Monangai, Jonah Coleman, Tez Johnson, DJ Giddens, Kyron Lacey, the sweatpants are ruined. They're ruined. I got to change before I go out. You could see through gray sweats. They're ruined, Jay. I'm good with Giddens, Gadsden, Coleman, Monangai. Round 2, Restrepo, Loveland, Trey Harris, Ollie Gordon, Woody Marks, Jackson Dart. Like, there might not be a Neighbors in this class. There's probably a lot of Maserati Marvs out here, but there might not be a Neighbors, right? I'm excited for the depth that you're going to be able to build at positions that we need replenishing. We need more running backs. We need some different damn tight ends. Dallas Goedert breaking down. Kelsey old, right? Andrews out there limping around. We need some infusion of youth at the positions that we're going to get this year. So there you go. Yeah. A 2 and almost a 3-round mock right here. 2 and like 90 quarters.
2.5.
Almost done. Yeah, we almost got like 99% of round 3.
You can throw Will Howard in there. There you go. Senior Bowl, we're gonna watch him up close in person, right?
I'll put anybody
shake his hand.
I don't want any Will Howard. We're gonna put Ricky White III from UNLV in that final slot. All right, let's go to comments real quick, man. Let's go to comments to see what the people are saying, JRich. Let's see what the people are saying before we get out of here. What'd you say?
Deep class. Jimbo hopes he gets Ward to Restrepo in Las Vegas.
It's deep. It's not. I think we can agree. It doesn't appear today that you've got all these elite talents that we've seen maybe in some other classes. Right? There are a lot of names that I think a lot of people are unfamiliar with today. And I don't blame you. It's December 4th. But by the time March rolls around, by the time April rolls around, like Tyler Warren won't be a sleeper for anybody. Harold Fannin won't be a sleeper for anybody. Kyle Monangai, Oronde Gadsden, Jonah Coleman. People are going to be like, these dudes are legit. And I'm glad I have. The shitty pick is probably picking like 107 when you're trying to decide between, man, do I take Judkins or Burden? Do I take this? Do I take the shot on Hunter?
That's the exercise we just went through, right? Once you get past the top 5 or so, dude. It's
Ray, you're getting
tough.
Restrepo. Great. You get Colston Loveland. Awesome. You get Trey Harris. Fantastic. Like, I don't even have to debate about it. I'm happy back here. So this class, they're good players at positions that we need. Good players at positions that we need. Let's see what we got right here. How does Travis Hunter affect BTJ?
Not at all.
I don't think at all, Joe. Yeah, I don't think at all.
BTJ is ridiculously talented. He's
I don't think at all. I don't think at all. Rico said, so glad I got my QB last year. These type of drafts I find produced great values. When they aren't overjoyed prospects, it's better to hunt gems. Daniel taps in every single damn day. And that is a great take, Daniel Perry. No doubt about it. Snag all the seconds and thirds that you can. Yeah, it's a good class. It's a deep class with players. Nobody thought How happy are you right now, Jay, if you got like Chase Brown on your roster? You're loving you that Chase Brown.
Pretty happy.
Yeah, but
Pretty happy, yeah.
Bucky Irving, how happy are you with Bucky? But remember the
Very
narrative around those guys? Not big enough, not fast enough, not athletic enough.
Behind Joe Mixon, behind Rashad White, right?
There's Devin Neal, DJ, these dudes. I didn't even name the Taj Brookses and the Trevor Etienne. Like this running back class, Kalel Mullings, is 20 deep. Just draft them. I can't tell you, and nobody's going to be able to say with absolute certainty, these are the ones that are going to pop and boom. Nick Singleton lands in Dallas. Jay, how excited are you? I'm very. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be Ashton
exciting,
Genty.
for sure.
It doesn't have to be Genty. Judkins in Dallas. Ollie Gordon goes to Baltimore to learn behind Derrick Henry. You're just like, oh, man, this is going to be good in a couple of years. So it's exciting. It's exciting times. This is what we do. Hit the music. We've got a super chat, and then we're going to get out of here. Hit the music. We got a super chat. Who sent that in?
Oh, do we? Let's go.
Yeah, we do, man. Somebody. This is from Dominic. Here we go. What is this? European $2.49 from Dominic 5058. Traded the 105 in Garindo for the 103. I like that.
I'm actually kind of fine with that. Yeah,
I'm good with that. I like that. That's a little
Ward,
savvy
Shador,
move.
probably.
Yeah,
and all you had to trade was Garindo?
Now you get your choice. You're going to get your choice of Sanders, Ward, Ted McMillan, Hampton,
if you want to go receiver.
I like that. And you only had to pay a Garindo to move up 2 slots?
That's good.
Savvy work. Send some more of that European coin in, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Jay. Anything you want to say to people before we get out of here?
Actually, I do, Ray. There's a lot of games on today, and I know you're not going to watch them. But you should bet that old Cole Palmer scores a goal today because he is definitely going to. So I'm telling you, man, get a little chilly out here because Cole Palmer is going to go crazy on Southampton today. That's your words of wisdom from old JRich.
Appreciate y'all being here. Make sure you wake up every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with myself and my dog JRich. We appreciate you, fam. Y'all have a fantastic hump day, fantastic Wednesday. Wake y'all asses up on Friday. We're going to have a good day. AMAs, y'all know what it is. Check out all the content on the channel. And until next time, be easy, y'all. We out. Peace.